Who's out into the clear and chasing. Elleegant at the 200. Here's Hitotsu though, finishing at a rate of knots. Hitotsu goes on by. Hitotsu storms away. Hitotsu wins the Penfolds Victoria Derby.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters bet, and I'm your host Scoot. We're on the quick back up here. It's going to be a massive week, DK.
Quick back up. It's very early into the week, but yes, a Melbourne Cup preview. Was my first foray into this sort of media sort of street. You want to see it back? I think it was 2015, Prince of Penzance, 2015, and I got a call from Juppy, and he said Darren Potter's coming down from Sydney. He's moving to Melbourne, and the puff of the old punters show, and can we do a Melbourne Cup preview? And we grabbed Lee Dalton, old Daltzbet.
Wow.
He's kicked on a bit Daltzbet since those days, flying Daltzbet up there in Sydney. So that was it, and we potted the shit out of Prince of Penzance and Michelle, and of course it won.
100-1.
And then here we are. So that was 6 years ago.
The star was born, and Nick Noonan back on track. What was the vibe like yesterday?
It was great to be back, but tough day. It shot pretty straight, but somehow it still managed. A lot of punters I talked to didn't win on the day, so the market knew in a lot of the races though. But it was great to be back on track. The atmosphere was very good in some of those races, and I think it'll be even better there on Tuesday. Real punters sort of day. It felt like a bull crowd. It was just the punters, everyone there, they wanted to bet. There wasn't too many sort of layering up or doing anything like that. So, it was a good day out there, Derby Day.
How were you going moving around? Were people stuck under their umbrellas and stuck to their seats, or were you sweet to
it was great.
Free roll?
It was absolutely outstanding. I think it's probably one of the better experiences I've had on track.
Great.
Because zones, you know.
Yeah.
But you could go, and if you were in your right zone, you could sort of move around pretty well. I was in the green zone, which is sort of near the winning post and the saintly sort of place and the mounting yard. So it was pretty free-flowing, tables everywhere. Too bad if you haven't got a ticket, but if you have, you got something to look forward to the next few days because it was outstanding.
Beauty. All right, so you're on track all day, so big win then. Let's have a look at a couple of replays. We might just scoot through a couple here. The Empire Rose is taken out by Colette here, and they went a bit quick up front, and Ollie just weaved his way through the field late. She was strong. She had the form behind Incentivise. Same track and trip, couple of starts back, off a setback, won well at Caulfield, and track profile was good for this mare, wasn't it? She's just gone back to the bigger track run on jobby.
Yeah, well, she was a bit underdone last start, still won. This looked like the target race. A bit of a sick watch for me on Mystic Journey at the all-in price, but that was kind of the theme of the day, thereabouts, but not finding the winner. But too strong Ollie. Ollie and J-Mac just dominated the entire card.
Ollie, those races, and J-Mac down the straight. Just how hot was he down the straight? But had saved all the ground there. That was probably the difference. But yeah, the goat was in business yesterday, and I saw he got quite emotional. He's always pretty steely to Oliver, and he's ridden a couple of horses of mine. He's very steely, very unflappable. And when they went to interview him after the race, he sort of teared up a bit, which is. I think he was just glad to get a big win for Godolphin, and he just said, geez, I got a bit emotional about that. So,
I'm a bit of a critic of Damien on this show, but this is the time that you back him, and I found him a couple of times, and at that sort of odds range, I don't like to step into him at the shorts in the winter months, but once you get those double-figure odds on the big carnival days when there's big prize money and all the stars are at the fore, that is the time to back D. Oliver, and he and J-Mac did put on a show. Here's the Derby finish here with a Totsu Io DK, a bottle of rhubarb gin after this one, and well, I thought the ride of Elleegant was quite good. He got bumped. He got put into no man's land. He made all the right moves, Preble. He gave him a massive chance.
It was a great run, wasn't he? He was just beaten by a better horse. Like, this was a freak, Totsu. He's just, 16 out to 2,500. He's the strongest late. Look at him just power away from him. Like,
well, I never took my eyes off him the whole race. And even though he was out in Nebraska, he was never going to get beat.
Yeah.
He was trucking, and I heard Mick Price said, John McNeil said, they were all out there bashing into each other the whole race. And Johnny was just sort of back inside, but he was out of all that rubbish, just sort of watching them, and then saved the ground. And then he got that ripper turn of foot. And, your horse ran terrific, but he's a proper horse. And the models and things showed what they like about. They didn't care about the 1,600 to 2,500. No. And I've learned, like, the rules have changed. I'm telling you, the rules have changed. Back 5-6 years ago, I would have potted the shit out of it. I would have put a pen through it. But times and things have changed. We saw on Friday night at Cranbourne that Liam Howley produced one there, first start at a mile, and just told all his owners, just it's a moral. Just keep backing it, And he's even entered in 1,800 on Tuesday, backups at its second start.
Wow.
Like, it's just unheard of. But he's saying, mate, this has got a motor, this horse. This is a proper horse. So they know, and the Mars and Eustace, they would have known that the horse had the biggest, how good a motor it's got and how good a horse it is. So it's just, they just, the rules have changed. And,
Well, you even see it, like, going back a few years ago, like, Surprise Baby going to Melbourne Cup. Like, he went 1,600 into a Bart Cummings and absolutely bolted in there. Like, they're just changing the game, aren't they, these staying camps?
And the way they train them, and that's the European influence, I think, isn't it? It's come out and they get them fit at home, and they don't waste runs, and it's just a lot of them change their, like Peter Moody Mark II is a prime example. Like Peter Moody at Caulfield when he had 200 horses, and a lot of them were speedy. He was a 1,200 metre horse trainer. He rarely trained a big winner at distance range. Now he's down to Pakenham. His horses, it's just different. He's just training them different, and these horses are strong now. It's just it's times to change.
Coolmore stud, Nico, you sent the alert out for home affairs, and wow, as soon as you sent the text message through, there must have been other players. Jelko would have had an absolute day out yesterday. Some of the big players.
It was off the map.
There was a couple of things that just caved in off the yard, and the Coolmore stud here, the replay of home affairs, like this horse just absolutely bolted the whole way, and then it was interesting to find a couple of these top jocks just keep hunting for the fence, and J-Mac even did it late too on Menage. There was nothing wrong with the fence, and this was just emphatic, wasn't it?
It's an enormous win. First time I've ever seen him, he came into the yard, he's just like a rock star, this horse, just parading around. I sort of was him and Artorias. Artorias flew home late. I think he probably should have ran second, but that was just an enormous win, wasn't it? J-Mac over the line, saluting there, like... He's running the Everest was very strange. Like, he ran the fastest 4 to the 2 in the entire race, but he was kind of going backwards and doing nothing. Like, maybe he just didn't perform that day and he was back to his best there, because off that, like, it's hard to say he's probably not in some of our A-grade sort of
that's as easy as you win a Group 1, like a sprinting Group 1. Don't see him win much easier than that.
Where to now for Artorias?
Well, I was going to ask now. Well, he's an Artorias man. I saw that someone posed that question. It might have been to Dean Lester or something like that. So what is the ideal... Is he a run-on sprinter? Is he, I think he likes speed on. So I'm thinking, like a TJ, so a fast run, maybe a 14 or something.
All-aged.
Yeah, so
he's got to get another win, doesn't he? You can't just go to stud and win a Blue Diamond and that's it. Like, he's got to find another Group 1 to put on his CV. Do they back him up in a VRC Sprint Classic down the way? It's not 100% sure. Like,
that's a conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, he was just in an awful spot there, but that was where he was going to be. He just... Unless he could peel back and come around him, but it was never going to happen. Bossy just rode, and I was a terrific. I mean, to see a horse do that, was he 1,600 back to 1,200?
He was going to need luck, but I thought that was the best I'd seen him parade, sort of mentally, and his attitude was spot on. So I think he's really starting to figure it out.
That's a good sign for a horse getting deep into his prep.
12, 1,400, 1,600, I could see him win any distance Group 1.
He's just
All-Star Mile.
He's a very, very talented horse. Very talented horse. He's just a bit slow. He's a get-back run on. He's like not so Master Crusader, but similar lines, Doesn't have the early speed.
The Cantala was a really nice finale from Oliver here. He he copped a little bit of a check late, and he just kept surging this horse. And
this was a race. These two up the front. This was a proper race, and how good it got a great
Mr.
finish.
Brightside went enormous too.
Oh, they all did. So they put the speed on. They've all all those run-on horses. They're all can run to their best here, and it was just. It was an absolute game of millimetres in the finish.
Like, where do you look here?
Where do you
Who's
look?
the winner?
They're all running. Look at Just Folk. It's run super. Ice Bath Charging was heavily tried late.
Was a big go.
Mr. Brightside just kept trying. J-Mac on Cascade, and there's the goat poking through at the death on the strong horse.
He just shifted out on him, Just Folk. So the balance from Oliver, when you look at the steward's vision, was enormous. And you could find Superstorm if you went back through the Verry Elleegant Turnbull form and then back to Flemington. You knew it was going to be strong at the end, so he probably should have won the race by a little bit further.
That was such a good finish. And Matt Hill was great. And I heard Danny O'Brien say, because he loves Flemington so much, they're going to have a good think about the McKinnon, backing him up 7 days into McKinnon on Saturday. So why wouldn't you? Yep. So why
He'd
not?
handle that horse. I reckon the harder you work him, I reckon the better.
7 day backup into McKinnon sounds good to me for him.
Take it on Zaki. Take it on Zaki.
Yeah. Well, Zaki, there's still got to be some question marks over him.
Big time. All right, let's have a look at Rose Hill. The market really came for Apache Chase, and I'm thunderstruck. So good read from Jason as a party pre-show. He had to sort of get motoring. It was a probably sort of up and on sort of day at Rose Hill, and he just starts to come out here. And in the office, Mark and I were pretty confident at this stage he'd reel him in. But gee, Count de Rupi's an honest horse, isn't he?
Is he what? Yeah, no,
You'd love to.
Yeah,
You should have heard the punters roar this home at Flemington. He was off the canvas, and then he's back and he's charging home here. I was sort of watching it on one of the TVs there, and I think everyone standing there backed him. They absolutely roared at home. It was absolute scenes there on course. But again, like he bumps him out of the way, he's still fast home, charges home late.
He must think that's, as Mick Price was saying, he just thinks it's normal having to crash his way out and run on, because that's what he's had to do his last 3 starts.
Such a good horse, isn't he?
And how good to bring home the bulk of the $7.5 million Volantis cash.
Oh, best.
Down to Mexico. Let's bring it down. I think Mick Price is pretty happy with that.
Outstanding. It was amazing to see how the market sort of shifted around. It was fascinating betting all day, and the bookies, they would have had an absolute nightmare. They'd be licking their wounds.
That was probably one where, like,
second half of
he was a complete moral in hindsight. Like, he's bumped him out of the way, and he's still got there, and he's still gone around $4. Like, there was a few.
Well tried though. Like, it's big. There's big. You know, he was very hard in the market
compared to Flemington, where there was a few. Like, Fangirl was off the map in the first race. Like, the longer they had that market open,
Minaj,
they just kept
absolutely
betting.
off the map.
They only stopped back in Hoitotsu when they jumped.
Yep, he was crashed in the betting as well. So maybe that's a sign for the next sort of few days.
We all press Minaj in here as soon as you gave the alert through that September run was crabby, because a lot of people fell into her thinking that she was going to improve back to Flemington and forgive the way she wobbled around Caulfield. But as soon as you said that she looked awful in the yard, we just turned the screws. And
there's your formula to win the rest of the week. Is J-Mac hard in the market down the straight the next three days. That's your starting point. You want to
nature strip.
Find it. Oh yeah, nature strip. Yeah,
that might be the get out.
I see he's on a Sydney filly down there on Tuesday. I only had a look on Tuesdays. One of those Sydney fillies, good Sydney fillies. So J-Mac down the straight, hard in the market.
That's the recipe. And make sure you check out puntingform.com.au. That is the form guide that we all use. DK loves it in the post race, so you can confirm what your eyes see, and Nico swears by it, and it's been a game changer for me. So $2.97 a month for the Pro Pack, and take your betting to the next level. But if not, you can just tune into Nico's Mounting Yard Mail if you just like to play on the Wednesday, Saturdays. And Nico stuff, $22 for the week, 4 meetings. You get all of the big Flemington days. So make sure you head to the Little Birdie shop and check that out. It's going to be a big show today. We're just going to go straight through, no breaks, mouth guard in, and just keep on betting. Just keep on burying your bookmaker. They're on the back foot, so you may as well just stick it into them this week. Muggs, Melbourne Cup tip and exotic plays will be on the show. TopSport Steamers, Hitotsu, they found the early money. It was $2,008 for Hitotsu, so that was a smart bet, and they were all over a couple of the big movers. I think Amaralina was another bet. And there was Mr. Brightside was another one. Ellsberg. So
Ellsberg was off the map, wasn't it?
That was $5.
Sustained backing.
Yeah. But let's have a look at Tuesday. We'll preview a couple of races, and then we'll get stuck into the Cup runner by runner. Race 5 is the first one here, Nico. It's a good little 1,400 metre race, this one. Odds courtesy TopSport on the screen now, and Frankie Pino is the $3.60 favourite. Blondo's been back $4.40 into $3.90. Lakeen $7. Pindarek over from Adelaide $8. Ocean Beyond $12. Crestani $13. Nick Ryan's got Regards Marine, and Fender's $16. They're the main chances. But we're going to have a look at the replay of Blondo. You may want to replay this one a couple of times because this is a car crash. Aim's the eventual winner.
Yeah, well, he's like last in the fence here, Blondo. He probably gets the race sort of opens up for him a bit there. He's a little bit held up, but this form stacked up. Like Count de Rupi come out and run second in the big race yesterday behind I'm Thunderstruck. This horse absolutely flying, this preparation. I think he's probably better on wetter tracks, but this was a good 3 and he ran really well. This $500,000 race. He comes back here to pretty much an open class sort of event. Frankie Pino's coming through.
Yes, what about Miles Frankie? He's going good, Frankie.
He's going good.
But he might end up in the break. He'll have to go back to last year, won't he?
Exactly. So he's going to have to spot him a head start. We got the right man on for the job here. J-Mac, Chris Waller, they're absolutely flying. This horse is airborne. I think he brings in the better form, that sort of Sydney form. Like Frankie Pino's racing very well.
He's a line finder, Frankie. I said that 6 months ago, Scooty, didn't I? A few people messaged me when he's running.
I think you tipped him up and it was $10. He come out and won at Adelaide.
Yeah, no, he's going good. But I did see he drew the wide here, and we'll have to go back.
He'll have to go back. Kieran McAvoy's a bit out of form. So J-Mac's red hot. Waller's flying. I think this horse gets a pretty good run. Definitely backing him at sort of $4. Holbein might be the horse big odds, so you could maybe have something on. Probably pushes forward here, gets Johnny. He might be one that you could sort of have something on, but I think Bondo's pretty hard to beat there. Probably 2-horse race between him and Frankie Pino. He should have the map advantage.
Always promised a lot as a 2-year-old Blondo, and it's finally good to see that he's putting some form together, and I think that's a pretty solid play. Market's already with it, 440 into 390 at TopSport, so popular combination there, so I'm tipping it'll stay very firm in the market. All right, let's have a look at race 6, the Schweppervescence plate. Good little mixer for your rhubarb gin, DK. Profiteer is the favourite here, $2.70 into $2.40. Anthar back from a spell, $3. Super Thief, $10. Direct, $13. Keep Reading, $13. Bacchanalia, $16. Hashima, $19. And $20 for the undefeated Tadweer. And better the rest. Let's have a quick squeeze at one of the Godolphin runners here. Oliver is back in business, and this is its last start win. You got King of Sparta wins a race, but here's Bacchanalia in the white hat, Godolphin colours, just getting closed in there, and King of Sparta comes out with clear running and puts it away. Not bad form lines here for a benchmark race.
Exactly. He should have run a clear second, looking at this sort of replay. And then I think the big thing to take out of this, I'm pretty sure he's been gelded since that run, and he's had a trial since at Hawkesbury, which was absolutely outstanding, where he got back and just charged the line there. You got Ollie, Godolphin. I don't know, they haven't been using the straight like I thought they would. They've been sort of back to the fence, but if they do look to find the wider lanes, he's probably going to be in the right ones from barrier number 11. I think this horse has really improved. King of Sparta, he had form around Palele, so it's easily tie-inable to your Profiteers and Enthars of the world, who, you know, at their best are smart horses, but all their form's at 2. Now they got to come back and do it at 3. This looks like a horse who always looked like he was going to sort of progress on as a 3-year-old. He did start $5 in a Blue Diamond preview, so behind Extreme Warrior and co. So his form's easily tie-inable to those sort of horses. You got Ollie. Yeah, like I said, the trial was outstanding, so I thought $16. I thought he's a very easy each-way bet. Now, I think
he's the trial.
You could really.
Yeah,
Where is he?
All blue, starting to hook
three of them
out
there. Which
around
one?
him. The widest in the all blue. He hits the line under a pretty good hold here.
Just watch him charge the line.
He hasn't got the winkers on there either.
Just absolutely
he hasn't got the gear on the other day. So he looks like it might be a different horse being gelded, mate.
Just look at him hit the line. Like, he's been asked for no effort at all. Absolutely trucking underneath the rider. Like, $17 is a great play, I reckon, in this race. This horse I'm keen to bet up on, to be honest.
DK Super Thief, bit of money for it, I see. It's just gone 11 into $9.50.
Yeah, he beat nothing at Swan Hill, and he was green as grass, and I thought he might have been vulnerable at the short at Sale. He got away with it, but and then someone asked me about him at Moonee Valley, and I said, no, not against Marine One and that, and then he ended up getting scratched at the gates or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I don't know about he's green, that horse, and I'm not sold on him. So
I think Profiteer deserves to be favourite. Definitely 240 back to 1,000 metres, gets J-Mac. He's got a few ticks there. I'd be happy to be against Enthar. I think you can layer at $3. Hasn't jumped out that well for a sort of speedy horse. We haven't seen her since the Blue Diamond. She's been nominated and entered to run in races all spring. She was set for the Moya and didn't get there, and then sort of a few races at Caulfield didn't get there. So she's had a fair few setbacks. I don't know if we'll ever see the best of her again, so I'd be happy to step in and lay her at sort of $3.
I think it's a great each-way play here. $17 and $3.70 the place. I'd be...
It's a free hit, isn't it?
Oh, it is a free hit. And the gelding's just another big tick.
It could be a different horse gelded. Could improve a heap.
And
so
you saw the trial, so he's back. He's on top of his game. So Oliver's got his confidence up.
Very important gear change, the gelding.
Race 6, I'd go back for the Cup. Race 7.
Yeah, now if you've got it, if you're right, I've got a couple of scoots. You want it for the couple from the bush? Want me to mention?
Yeah, we'll go on then, DK.
We're still
trying to make money.
Races. Yeah. There is that 3-year-old 1800 which piqued my interest. Race 9.
Yep.
There is a very nice horse coming through the bush into that race called Owenology. Matt Williams, Beetroot Williams.
$12.
Yeah, this is a very, very nice horse. He's a dead set line finder. I love him getting the Flemington to a big track. He went to Bendigo the other day and just towed him. I'd say up to 1800. I think he'll run a terrific race. The other horse in that race that interested was there's that Station 1 who's going there on the backup from winning Friday night on debut. So he said that he's been 61 into 9 or something, 61 into 10. So he said, look, he's obviously told the owners who backed it off the map Friday night, I'm going to, if it wins shits in, I'm going to back it up, so have something on it there too. But Oneology sort of got the platform and stuff I like there, so I think it'll run really well.
That's against Spirit of Gaylord, who ran fifth.
I reckon it's a better horse. This is a better horse than Spirit of Gaylord.
Which one?
Owenology.
There's
Going forward, he'll be a better horse.
Yeah, right.
Okay? Spirit of Gaylord won a really slowly run Bendigo Maiden, and then went to that race the other day. He's had a funny platform, kicking off at 1,500 and then going to. This horse won a prop. He rated really well. It's Maiden a similar distance, so I reckon this will end up being a better horse. But I'm no oracle, and I see it's a lot shorter in the market, Spirit of Gaylord. In race 4, a thing called Groovy Kind of Love, a Mick Kent mare, went like a dead set lead at Ballarat the other day. Mare in form. I know she's stepping up in grade here, but I don't know if you've seen that, Nico, but she went like a dead set rocket.
Yep.
So mare's in form.
D-Lane.
D-Lane, yeah, because if she can hold that or even improve off it a little bit, but she went good. So
dropped 61 kilos to 54 off that last run. I love that.
Yeah, well, because she's up in grade.
Yeah, but a big weight drop. I love that.
And mare in form, like you should have seen it. Like she just towed them, and she ran really good figures. So there are a couple coming through bush off good wins that I thought the punters could follow at decent odds on the day, mate.
Anything to add there, Nico? Or
no, nothing to add there. I think DK's on the money, so back him in.
All right, beautiful. It's time to preview the Lexus Melbourne Cup. We'll just go runner by runner, and we'll do a replay of all the key chances, but we'll only watch the replay once, save watching the same races over and over again. And the first runner's already been back. Number 1 is Twilight Payment from the Joseph O'Brien yard. Jai McNeil on board, 13 into 950, and we're going to have a look at its last 400 here of the St. Ledger at the Curragh. He carried 62 kilos. He's there in the white winkers whacking away. There was a tearaway leader that's fading back on the fence with the white blaze, and he did a really good job. He had to bring the field up to that tearaway leader, and he's stuck on solidly.
You know what you're going to get with this horse, don't you? He's going to give 110%. Whether he can win the Cup sort of on his third try now, up in the weights, 58 kilos as a 9-year-old. It's a bit unheard of, isn't it? But the horse is going well. I sort of couldn't get him to $9, just given the weight he's got to carry and a few of the key rivals he's going to have to give away weight too. But if you're someone that wants to back him, like I said, you know what you're going to get. He's going to give 110%. He's got a good run here from barrier number 2. He's probably going to be maybe Jai even leads on him like last year, or he's sort of box seat or something like that, and he's probably an exotic player if you're looking to play that way, for sure.
Right, so TopSport are betting to win 100,000, and I'm tipping they laid it because they turned it off last night. Like, there's still double figures out there in other joints, but they've laid it. So I was tipping they've laid it to win 100K. It's one of the big
owner bet.
One of the big bets they've laid. It could be, yeah. Look, but the 58, it's a nice horse to put in first. I would have thought the horse with 58 kilos. He's going to have to use him up a bit to hold early from gate 2. He had gate 12 and could roll across last year. He had the foot down and ran him into the ground last year. It was a stronger cup, obviously, with more internationals, but I'm around the internationals, I think, this year. So I think, I'm with the 58. He has a task.
Yeah, I'd think he'd be a place chance for your exotics, but I'm not sure he can beat this horse home. Number 2 here, Incentivise. I like the young, lightly raced progressive horse, the 5-year-old taking on the 9-year-old there. Incentivise, barrier 16. P. Moody takes over from Steve Tregay. Brett Preble, 245 into 240 at TopSport. And this horse just made all in the Caulfield Cup. You won't see a better or more emphatic Caulfield Cup winner. We'll see him scoot home here, and wow, he just put him to the sword.
They said 2 things to me. I mean, he's going to be better at Flemington, back to Flemington, because he just was a bit one-paced and getting around that Caulfield turn, and how strong he was, he got stronger. So, I mean, the query is on him at the supposed query on him at 3,200, but all he did was get stronger here, and Preble said he couldn't pull him up. So, if that doesn't tell you he's going to run 3,200, look, he looks the horse of he's one out of the box to me. They don't come along very often, horses like this. So, he's the benchmark here, Nico.
You see the Hotham's usually a good guide. The horses that run good in the Hotham or the Saab or the race won by Great House. You see Great House 5.5 lengths back on the fence, and at the weights, there's not much difference there, and you just wonder how he can turn it around.
I suppose he didn't win a vintage Caulfield Cup. If you're going to be a knocker, like he beat nonconformist Persan. I think nonconformist come into his own this spring, but he's pretty hard to knock, isn't he? I suppose the knock is the big weight. He's got to carry 57. Yeah. You know, there's a few smart, lightly raced horses right down the bottom of the weights. Tralee Rose, Grand Promenade, Floating Artist, having to give them weight. But gee, like he's very hard to pot. Like you said, Preble said he couldn't pull him up. Like I think he'll eat up 3,200 metres. That's always looked like it was going to be his go, didn't it? He won those early spring sort of features, and we thought, you know, he's going to be vulnerable at these shorter trips, and this was going to be his go, 2,400 metre plus. So look, he's run a very similar figure last start to what he did in the Tats Cup, where he won by 12 lengths on punting form. No, he's got to be top pick. Do you want to back him at 230? You may get better. It may sort of happen like...
Interesting, yeah. It's going to be big.
In the Caulfield Cup, he sort of got out to $3 at some stages in betting and then came right back in. Maybe they...
Something
same
similar.
play here. Once the syndicates and that really get involved, that last 15... Maybe you want to back him sort of an hour before the race. That's maybe when you might get your best price.
We put an early poll out on Twitter, and 18% think he's going to start 225 or less, 29% 230 to 255, 260 to 295, 30%, and 21% think he'll hit $3.
It's just unheard of, isn't it?
I'd be surprised if he hits $3. I don't think I think the big boys will step in and want to crunch this horse. The picket fence is just too strong for me, but
like you go back, like what? So you think he started pretty short in the Melbourne Cup a few years ago, and he's an absolute champion. And I think he started like $4 or something like that. There's 240 in a Melbourne Cup. It's very rarely seen, but he just could be a star. This horse.
I'd be surprised if he got beat to me.
Out of the Cox Plate and looking at a horse like Incentivise, I think we've finally put to bed that Australians can't breed stayers. We've had Star Spangled Batter produce State of Rest, and now you got Seamus Award, the sire of Incentivise. So the tide has turned. We can do it all. He'll be hard to beat. All right, Spanish Mission. Let's from the Andrew Boarding Yard. He's had some swelling in his leg under a bit of a veterinary cloud. We got Craig Williams on board. He's a great rider. A couple of years ago, he steered one of Danny O'Brien's to victory in one of the best rides that you'll see in a Melbourne Cup. He is Spanish Mission second in a Group 2 Lonsdale Cup. And what do we know about this horse?
Well, this is Stradivarius to his inside, who's probably been the world's best stayer the last few years. Whether that horse is at his absolute best now, not 100% sure, but it doesn't look like he is. Spanish Mission ran really well here. He's got some world-class form, this horse. Like form around Santiago sort of ties in through Tiger Moth last year, if you really want to go back that far. He ran really well in the Ascot Gold Cup. This has been a good lead-up for this race, the Lonsdale Cup. That was 3,200 metres. He's had multiple runs sort of over this trip and ran very well. I suppose the knock would be the inflammation that he's had. It doesn't sound too bad, I wouldn't have thought, of sort of my dealings in the racing game. I didn't sound like it was anything structural or something like that. It more sounds like an infection. So if they can hit that on the head and sort of, you know, antibiotics and those kind of things, which they probably should be able to, given it was found Friday.
Yeah, he's got the tick of approval now. So
and it's hard to get past the RV vets.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, had the three of them. I wonder how they do that. Well, you look at it first, and I'll go over and look at it, then I'll go over and look at it.
Yeah.
Then they confer, or then they all come up with their own individual and check notes. It'll be interesting what the method is.
I took an early price about this horse, but I'm losing confidence by the day that he can get past Incentivise. I think
he's the real stayer, isn't he? This horse, he'll just keep grinding away.
He's gonna be thereabouts, top 3.
He'll want a fast run cup. The trainer has sort of travelled horses out here before. He had Cyglance come over a fair few years ago and run well, so he knows what he's doing there. And he's had Tony Noonan, I think, looking after the operation down there at Werribee, and he's travelled horses overseas as well, and knows what he's looking at there. Willow aboard. Look, I kind of couldn't get him $9. I thought he just might lack a bit of the zip you really need to win a Melbourne Cup this year, but he's in the game. He'll probably be an exotic player again.
I think he's got a 121 time form rating versus Incentivise with a 129, which is off the scales.
Yeah, I think when Cross Counter come out, he had like a 124 from memory time form. So, where he sort of sits in that sort of in those sort of ratings and where he gets to here is going to be interesting. But off his form, he's definitely in the race for sure.
Very elegant. It's the next one here, J-Mac and Chris Waller. Nice performance in the Cox Plate. Just couldn't get past the other 2 stars. We'll see her hit the line. She had to work pretty hard from.
She's probably had the worst run.
Exactly.
Like she had to cover the most ground, come round them. Both the other 2 have sort of cut the corner on her, and they've just been too strong for her late. She did start $3.60 favourite in the Cox Plate, and it's been you go back historically, it's a good lead up for the Melbourne Cup. This race for Fioronte ran a place in the Cox Plate, come out and won a Melbourne Cup.
I always loved it. Always have loved the Cox Plate as a lead up to the Melbourne Cup. I reckon it's a great form reference.
Sadly for these guys, there's 10 to 25 mil forecast on Wednesday.
Yeah.
They wanted it Tuesday.
She wanted some rain. And my other concern is I think if there were more internationals and things like that, he wouldn't have run. He's only running it because, she's got 57. It's very, very hard for a mare to win 57. I think one in history's only ever done it. So I think if it had been a vintage cup field and more, they wouldn't have run. But I think they're running because it does hollow out a bit. Look, she's a star mare. I love the Cox Plate as a lead up, but she'd want some rain. And she didn't have the best of luck last year. She got back where they sort of she was back in the ruck last year and got hampered there at the 500 trying to make her run. The 57 again up in the weights is she's that and prefer rain. So she's out.
I think her class is going to take her a long way here. Like, there's not that many class horses in this race, and that's what she's an absolute class horse. Yes, it's an ask to carry 57 as a mare to win a cup, but she's probably a good mare we've seen in these staying races recently, probably since sort of Maccabi Diva. So I think her run in the cup last year is what you got to go off. Like, fast run race, she's as strong as anything late. She's the second fastest last 400, third fastest last 200. There's no doubt she stays the trip. She was just too far out of that race to win it.
And he did. When I just watched it again this morning, when Zara went to make that run, he had that horse outside him and might have cost him a length or two, you know, and it was just on pace dominated from Twilight Payment. It was a big run.
Yeah, early in this horse's preparation, its first two starts back, when it was running around in Moanga and those sort of horses, I thought it was looking for a Melbourne Cup trip at that stage. I didn't really like her in the Cox Plate. She overperformed from my expectation, and I think she's a genuine knockout. If the favourite fails, I will not be surprised whatsoever if Verry Elleegant wins this race. She had
the SP over him in that in the Turnbull too, didn't she?
Yeah, well, she's at 210.
I think she's a massive chance. I think she's one of the better chances to upset the favourite for sure.
And she carried 55.5 last year, so I know she's probably just a bit poorly off this year, but look at that race. She's 16th at the 400 metre mark, flies home to run 7th. Yeah, I think she's right in the game, definitely.
Bookies have had their foot on her right throughout futures betting, so I'd be respecting her. Explosive Jack is the next one here. Kieran Marr, John Allen, $41. This horse sort of took all before him in his 3-year-old career, won a couple of derbies.
Derby Jack.
Yeah, and he got beaten by 9 lengths behind Incentivise. We've already seen that replay. I thought he'd announce himself as a Melbourne Cup contender in the Caulfield Cup, but it wasn't to be.
I'm just wondering if it was something at Caulfield. Like he was tracking really well through the Turnbull. His late splits in the Turnbull were good. Look, I'm thinking if there's one horse that can bounce back, there's a lot of horses coming off average runs in that Caulfield Cup.
Yep.
I'm thinking if there's one who can bounce back, it's him. Flemington, Johnny Allen sticks.
Right camp.
Yeah, right camp. And he was only 20-1 or something in that Caulfield Cup, and that was going to be a clean up anyway for this. So I'm thinking if there's one horse, they always say forgive him off a bad one.
Yep.
I'm thinking he's the one who can possibly bounce back.
Because his runs prior, he was great in the Maccabi Diva. He wasn't far off Colette in that race over a mile. Yep. He's the fastest last 200 metres in the Turnbull.
That's right. I had him tracking beautifully.
Oh, yeah. He goes to the Caulfield Cup. He's disappointing, but they kind of said it was just so out of character. He's barely run a bad race in his life.
That's right. Yeah. So I think he's more a 20.
I had him second in the numbers there in the Caulfield Cup. I thought he paraded outstanding, and I was sort of very disappointed with his effort. So I probably got to stick fat with him. I'm playing a trifecta in the race, probably the race to do it. And
he's got it going. Yeah,
he's in it.
Yeah, I've already taken big odds this horse. I backed him before the Caulfield Cup, thinking it was going to be single figures. I probably have to forgive, and I couldn't steer anyone.
He's the best roughie, isn't he? $41.
Best blowout chance.
At those odds, he should be.
He'll probably shorten.
He should be similar price to what he was in the Caulfield Cup. He should be 20-1.
Should be 21. Yeah.
Okay. The chosen one is the next runner here. D Lane Sticks. 61 into 51 at TopSport. Shifty Murray Baker. I absolutely love this trainer. Love this combo. Let's have a look at him hitting the line in the Melbourne Cup.
How was this camera angle? I just was watching this morning. How did this happen? that we can only see the bloody, for 100 metres of the race, we could only see the leader.
And there he is in the pink cap with the yellow sleeves, just sort of whacking away. So if you think this is an okay form reference, or if it's a weaker race this year, there's Prince of Iran boxing on. There's Verry Elleegant popping into screen, right out wide. Persan up along the fence.
Yeah. So, look, he had barrier 5. He's got barrier 5 again. But he did run well. He ran third in the Caulfield Cup leading up to that. And this year he's gone ordinary in the Caulfield Cup.
But could be another forgive out of the Caulfield Cup.
Well, that's right. So he's lined up. But as I said, of the ones who I think will bounce back, Explosive Jack's more likely than he is.
Nico?
Yeah, tough horse. Like, at his absolute best, like he's run 4th there last year, ran a place in the Caulfield Cup last year, where you're kicking up for a horse like Verry Elleegant, you got to say off that last year's form, he's probably right in the race. He has been beaten 12 lengths so in the Caulfield Cup this year. His run the Herbert Power was good. Maybe just like dry tracks this time in his sort of life. Maybe that Caulfield Cup soft 6 was a lot wetter than that by a few horses. Maybe didn't go. He's a horse that will attract some love. There's punters out there that absolutely back this horse every start, probably like Scoot. But
if you like apples to apples, you can't deny what he did last year in that race. Yeah. He ran good.
He's one of mine, but I think he'll be just short. I couldn't have him as a winning chance.
Like he's running the Sydney, he ran 6 in the Sydney Cup behind Selino, who's $1,000,000 to 1 here. Like maybe that was his peak run last year, and he's on the way down.
Number 7 is Delphi from the Anthony Freeman yard. Ollie's on here. $6.50 was his starting price in the Caulfield Cup. $34. 41 into $34 here. Another one maybe to forgive off the Caulfield track, but this is a horse that I can't see beating Incentivise.
I can't see him running 3,200 the way he over races and stuff. And I think the horse actually lacks strength.
Good read, good call.
So I thought Incentivise had him. I know the SP says they're closer, but I didn't like him at all against Incentivise. Just over his over racing and things like that. And Ollie had to go early on him in the race, qualifying race at Caulfield, but he looked a bit empty on the line there. So, I just think he races too keen for me.
Yeah, he has one over 2,800 overseas, sort of going back to August of last year. So, that was in an 8-horse field, though. So, it's just a completely different tempo and pressure, isn't it? Like, if your horse is going to over race, you're probably going to do it in a much bigger
drawn
field.
through, he's sort of got to kick up and hold a spot, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's, like you said, they're probably going to have to use him up. Look, there's going to be people that make a fair case for him off that SP and just winning the Herbert Power, which was dominant, but he was a horse I was happy to risk at 32. I was with DK.
Yeah, I'm going to leave him out of my multiples also. Ocean Billy is the next one. Big price this runner, 151 into 91. D. Thornton, C. Waller. It just ran along behind them in the Caulfield Cup. Kiwi horse. He's a no from me. Probably 3,200 is a tick.
He won the Auckland Cup at 3,200, but and look, that would have been a clean up the other day. But I can't, off these ones coming off the massive SPs in the Caulfield Cup, I just can't have any of them. He was 150 to 1 there against Incentivise, and I know this is more of a target race for him, but no, I can't have him.
I think he's a top 10 player. If you're looking at those sort of markets, he's going to be big odds in that market as well. Like he was pretty strong late there in the Caulfield Cup. He did get a long way back. Looking at the sectionals home in that race, he was the 8th fastest last 200, so it was probably just what he was doing late. But 3,200 is going to be his goal. I wouldn't be shocked if this horse
top 10,
into the top 10. It's that thin, this race, and he'll actually stay.
He's proven at the 2 mile,
Right sort of camp. Waller's got so many runners. He'll be interested to see what he does tactically, Chris Waller, and how the race sets up for that stable. Selino, the 9, is from the Waller yard. Rockin' Ronnie Stewart, Barrett 24 here, $101 out from 61. Another one that ran down the line in the Caulfield Cup.
Another one proven at the 2 mile. He won the Sydney Cup, but that was his race. He was 200 to 1 in the Caulfield Cup.
Looks outclassed, and
I can't have him off those big SPs.
Taking on.
Yeah, he'll stay all day, but that's his only advantage, isn't it?
Okay. Johnny Get Angry, number 10 here for Dennis Pagan. Lockie King, $81. Let's have a look at the Geelong Cup. This is the first runner probably beaten in Geelong Cup. He's sort of getting scrubbed along out the back in the polka dots and red hat. It's a head scratcher, this one. Good for the owners and connections, I guess, to have a runner, but I think he's just traffic. You see Tralee Rose just outstays Dr. Drill here, and I think the thing I liked about Tralee Rose here is if you keep adding another 800 metres, I think she just keeps going further and further away from the entire field. But Johnny Get Angry.
It's been talked about. He got Ollie to ride it in work. He's changed the gear around. Ollie said you'd be mad not to run the horse. Felt good in the track work. So whether it's had some issues or something, I don't know. But you can't. Pagan said, I've had a dream to run a horse in the Melbourne Cup, and sounds like it is, but he'd know taking unfit players into grand finals, you know what happens if they're not, you want to be flying.
It's a narrative story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Pagan and Lockie King, and good luck to the owners and connections. But this is an embarrassment to our race, like how this horse gets in. He's been beaten 30 lengths and 19 lengths his last 2 runs. Like, he's completely out of form. He's won one race, a Victoria Derby, where he was, hit the shot, probably should have beat him. And he hasn't shown anything else in his form outside of that. Like, him and Knight's Order getting to the field, I can see why the overseas people pot our big race, because they are an embarrassment to this race this year. Like, Mancayan should have, like, if they're serious about this Melbourne Cup this year, Mancayan should be in the race, running second at Great House, and they should have kicked these 2 out.
Yeah.
Like, how are they even in? Like, I think the VRC Derby needs to be reviewed off a horse like
people
this.
Say,
getting straight
it's
in.
my dream, and the owners just want to have a Melbourne Cup run. I mean, how can it be good to have something that's 300 to 1 and going to get beaten 15 lengths? Or when it happens and you say, oh, that was a good one.
What if this horse is one that breaks down as well? And then they come out and say, oh, it's been beaten 30 and 20 lengths its last 2 starts. Like,
I think Bjorn Baker did the right thing with Fun Fact. It was qualified for the race and didn't pay up. And Knight's Order's another one here.
They should just kick him out. Like, seriously.
Well, Knight's Order, heck yeah, that's right.
He won a Brisbane Cup. Like, how's that even a leader? It's a 6-horse field.
That's how these horses qualify, though. That's the qualifying rules. So, I mean, he was average on Saturday.
Beaten 6 Knight's Order Saturday and 9 lengths in Geelong Cup. It's hard to see it turning around. Number 11, Daniel Stackhouse, Gay Waterhouse, 101 there.
Stackhouse.
So it's a pass for all of us.
Stackhouse riding in the Melbourne Cup. I was backing him at Terrelgan yesterday, and my thing couldn't even keep up with Terrelgan. Well, here we go, Stackhouse riding. Terrelgan is a result. He should be riding at Flemington. Still got beaten 6 lengths. That was good.
Nico and I bounced in the door here, and DK was just toys out of the cot. Still filthy about Terrelgan.
Fucking hate losing, I tell you.
I'd hate to see when the remote goes missing at your house. Can't find it. Oh, you'd boil. Number 12 here, Persan, Luke Curry, Ma Eustace, 53 kilos, and it's been 26 out to $31. This is a runner that I've got a lot of time for. Caulfield, it's coming through the Caulfield Cup also. I think it had one of the world's hardest preparations leading into the Melbourne Cup last year, and I like the way it's probably just been set for this race rather than trying to force its way into the race last year.
That showed in the autumn. Like, he was flat in the autumn. Come out and started $1.60 against Ahmad in a 2,600 metre race and was flat as in the Ramsden. Then they've reset for the spring, ran okay in the Turnbull, ran well first up, third in the Caulfield Cup last start. I think he ran 5th in this race last year. He'll stay all day. He's an exotic player.
I like this horse for favourite out markets and all those sort of things.
I've told this story before. I might have told it 12 months ago in the lead up to the Melbourne Cup. So this horse turned up with Kieran Maher, came down, might have had a couple of starts in Sydney, I'm not sure who for. And I saw it jump out at Ballarat. And it dead set jumped out like a dead set draft horse. I said, what's that thing? and then this thing from Sydney, funny. And they sent it to Benalla Maiden 1400. So I was like, I'm going to lay this. This is a camel. Because they put it up 2 to 1 or something. And by some miracle it got beat, and then it made it to the Melbourne Cup. That's how much of a draft horse it was, and why I don't tip off jump outs to Nico. So I'll leave those jump outs to you blokes. But I got the cash that day, but I was completely wrong.
He's an interesting one. Although he won the Bart Cummings, and then he only got beaten 2.45 lengths, carrying 51 in last year's Cup. So I couldn't talk anyone out of backing this runner.
Incentivise had 5 lengths on him his last 2 starts, and I'd say Incentivise in my opinion, got 5 lengths on him again. And I think his price shows how far he's off, marked off in the prices.
If by some freak of nature, Incentivise doesn't run 3,200, Persan
that's right. It opens
does.
up. Yeah, it opens up, and he ran well again. Ran his good race last year. Did he? What?
Strange things do happen on the punt. All right, Carif, number 13 here, Snowden, McDougall. They're sort of starting to show glimmers of improvement, the Snowden yard. 101 this runner. Thoughts here, boys? Can we make a case for Carif, or it's he's just
doesn't deserve to be there.
A rung below, isn't he?
No, but it does,
not going good enough. 7th in a Tats Cup.
Yeah, and what was he? 100. He was another one. He was 150 to 1 last start. The story, but this does come back just saying Blake McDougall on, Dean Holland, Fred Kersley, Paddy Maloney. A lot of these we've spoken about. A lot of these so-called second-tier riders. Blake McDougall's nearly top tier now, but getting the opportunities, and blokes who have really taken this opportunity with the lesser lesser jockeys have taken the bit between the teeth. And again, P. Maloney was riding at Tarragona yesterday, but he dead set owned the meeting, or owned the maidens early in the day. And B. McDougall, like, geez, we backed to win reviews that Simon Wild thing last Sunday, and gee whiz, he's got wonderful hands. So yep, I think the story's great to see, and I hope he runs well for Blake. But I can't see him featuring.
Here's a runner that's come through the Caulfield Cup as Master of Wine. The Hawkshard Freddie Kersley on board, $91. I think he's a
head case. Look, he likes Flemington, so he's another one who can improve back to Flemington. But he's another one off the bad one in the Caulfield Cup, just another one, you know.
Probably his two best runs in the last 2 years have been he's run in the Bart Cummings.
That's right.
I think third or second in both of them.
Yep.
He gets back to Flemington, like you said, his Caulfield Cup run was average, but he did start $26. So
and he does get the tongue tie on here, which can explain a bad one that he may have choked down.
Yep.
Look, he's a possible improvement back to Flemington, but he's
Kersley's another one of those jockeys. He's gone to a new level.
Yep. Getting great a bunch of Hawks and other good stables are using him. He's getting a Godolphin, so good on him.
He could be a real good one for you. There are your third or your fourth placings there, and he's $21 a place at the moment, so he might be able to pop a nice trifecta or first four result if you play him that way.
White Exotics.
Yeah, the White Exotics. All right, number 15 here is Pondus coming through the Moonee Valley Cup. Rachel King and Robbie Hickmont here, $34. Interesting one here. I don't know. We'll have a look at the replay here, and obviously Floating Artist is the story here, just trucking in behind, but he had every chance, I thought, Pondus, and I'd rather take Floating Artist in a head-to-head.
Yeah, you hit the front 200 metres from home and you're 2 lengths in front, and then you get beaten a length and you start 220. Like it was an average run. His run first up in the Bart Cummings was okay. I think the big takeaway with this horse is the market seems to love him here in Australia. He's been off the map in every single start he's had here. He started 550 in the Bart Cummings, starts 220 here. I suppose the SP men might sort of look at that. He gets a soft run from one. He's hard to have for me. I could mark him sort of 60s, 70s off that run for sure.
He has that run first up, which I hate. And that's an empty out gut buster fresh. And that's what he had at Flemington. He got completely emptied out, and it was no surprise for me to see him go over there off that run at the short last start. So I don't think that's a platform have a complete empty out for this prep leading into the Melbourne Cup. I'd say that horse is regressing.
Number 16 is Grand Promenade. Kieran McAvoy, Mar and Eustace, $20 with TopSport, and here's his win in the Bart Cummings, which is becoming a better lead-up run. Obviously, 2,500 at Flemington, got a nice little break. You see Tralee Rose, you see Knight's Order in behind them, Selino's there, Future Score, Persan sort of starting to make up ground down the outside. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm warming to these first two over the line as as place chances in this race. I think down in the weight, they've obviously targeted in coming through. Him and Tralee Rose coming through the similar lower rating Group 3s and things like that, lower races. This horse is a dead set iron horse. He's been up since March. He had his first run for the prep in March. He trialled earlier in March. That means he's back in work in December or January. And there he goes and produces a peak figure in that race. Like he's a dead set iron horse. And Mar and Eustace got the lightweight and be up on pace. I think he's definite top 4 chance.
He's got a great platform, doesn't he? Like he'll get his last 3 races, they've gone like 13 lengths above to the 600 metre mark. So I think this will help him having that little 29 days between runs. That's really going to suit this horse.
Looks like the gap between runs a few times. Like they do keep him fresh, and obviously keeps ticking over nice, But I think that Bart Cummings, I think those first two were in the mix for the first top 4.
And if Persan's not really at his top, he might have just blew out there for his last 200.
I do have a question mark on him if he can actually stay. Like he was well beaten in the Ramsden, had every possible chance there. Maybe he's a better horse, but like he's the 8th fastest last 200 of that Bart Cummings. I know he does a lot of his work in the front end, but he was a bit sort of empty late there. That's probably my one question mark if he's going to run a real strong 3,200. But down in the weights, and it's hard to take on the camp at these sort of trips. But you'd have opinion somewhere, and that would be my concern with him if he's going to be really strong late.
Number 17 is Miami Bound, Danny O'Brien, P. Maloney, 101. Danny O'Brien's just a little bit off the boil at the moment. This horse come through the Bart Cummings.
What are you talking about? You've Superstorm yesterday.
Well, that's the outlier.
That's the outlier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. She needs it wet. She needs.
Yeah, I would have thought wet track for her, but one I sort of stuck up for last year, but not for me this time around. Nico?
Nah, can't have her.
Port Guillaume is number 18. Harry Coffey, Ben and JD Hayes, 101. This horse has hit the line a couple of times, like flashed in, coming through the Caulfield Cup. A bit patchy for mine, and
just another story of him is Harry Coffey getting a ride. You know, we all love Harry and his story, and I've never been a huge fan of actually backing Harry's horses, but he rode a winner for me the other day, and he's another one who seems to have improved his riding another 5 or 10% in the last 3 or 4 months. So a great story for Harry to have a ride in the Cup.
Yeah, I don't think he's completely out of this. He was the fastest last 200 in the Caulfield Cup. Looks like he'll stay all day, getting the third 200. This horse, when he originally was brought out here, was, I think, nearly favourite for this race and the Caulfield Cup.
Okay.
So he was sort of a horse who had a lot of a spruik on him, and then I think he went a miss or something. He's come back this spring. His run in the naturalism was good. His run in the Bart Cummings was good. Average, like very poor, and then his run in the Caulfield Cup was quite good. So, like he could be a horse that comes out and runs a big race or runs last. Like that seems to be his sort of profile. But
not hopeless for top 10.
Of the 100 to 1 chances, I think he's one that's probably not hopeless.
I've got an old ticket at about that sort of quote, and I won't throw it out, but I don't think I'm going to add more to it. All right, number 19 is She's Ideal. Craig Newitt, Bjorn Baker here. $91. Also coming through the Caulfield Cup. So no for me.
She's a big career at the 3,200, I would have thought.
She's had great preparation. Like, she's got the miles in the legs, doesn't she? 2 runs at 2,400. Good win in the Kingston Town going back 3 runs ago. Look, her run in the Caulfield Cup was okay. You maybe could have made a case for if she had got a real cosy run here, but she's going to have to do a bit of work from 20 no matter what. So she looks an easy enough horse to be against.
Number 20 is Future Score, Dean Yendall, Matt Kamani, $201. It's a flat-out no for me.
Nico's already mentioned it along with Johnny Get Angry.
Yep. Number 21 is Tralee Rose from the Simon Wildcamp, Dean Holland, $17 quote there. She looks like she's going to just absolutely eat up 3,200. You can forgive her Adelaide Cup run. She had an issue that day. She was heavily backed. Yeah. Absolutely smashed. So they've got her back and right. And I mentioned it before. Add another 800 metres to the Geelong Cup, and she just keeps batting away. And DK's already mentioned it. You think she'll get the 3,200 easily? Yeah. No, she's in my top 4. She's my 4th pick. She'll be up there. She's got the lightweight. She'll race on up just behind the speed. She's a trier, and she'll stay. And be great for Simon Wild. He's a great trainer. Great for Dean Holland. He's improved his riding. I think she'll run really well.
Yeah, she's hard to knock, isn't she? The winning the Geelong Cup, great run in the Bart Cummings. She'll stay all day. Finally draws a gate, which probably helps her here. Barrier number 12. She probably gets a good run, sort of midfield on the map there. Last start, like just getting past Dr. Drill, was it like a regression run, or was she just?
He ran out of his sky. I think Preble
did gap third,
and that's right. The margins there were the third. Preble, it was a funny race that because he's only got a short, sharp sprint or a certain sprint. Dr. Drill and Preble sort of used it when Ma said sort of be careful. He's only got a short sprint, this bloke. So I think Dr. Drill ran really well that day for Preble. And she just kept trying. She fought him off, and that's what you want to see, I think, fought him off and kept trying through to the line from going to Melbourne Cup. And it hasn't been the worst. It's been a decent form reference over the years, the Geelong Cup, So, I think she'll run well.
I had her about that price, sort of 17s. You could definitely back her if you want to be involved, though. She'll run the trip.
Yeah, I must add for 2nd and 3rd and 4th lines of your exotics for sure. Probably another one that's similar vein of form is number 22, Floating Artist, also drawn favourably there in barrier 10. Teo keeps the ride. Kiramada Eustace, 20 into $16. It had a lap on him in the Moonee Valley Cup. This is a horse that DK's been sticking up for a long time.
And I'm not dropping off now.
No.
I'm all over this.
Yep.
This is me. This is me in the Melbourne Cup.
Biggest danger to the favourite?
Yep. This horse, so the favourite's coming in with a picket fence, and this horse should be coming in with a picket fence as well. So I don't mind. Can I speak about him, Nico? And you
Go for it.
So
He's
he won
warmed
that.
up.
He won the race at Moonee Valley, and then at Flemington, he went to Flemington, and he was really he won again, but he was strong after the line. Oh, this horse just wants ground. And then he went to Sandown on the same day, Zaki, the same distance and everything, and he dead set hooned home, like sectionals. You know, like it was a better performance. In my opinion, it was nearly better performance.
Sandown was emphatic, wasn't
It was emphatic. He just hooned. So he goes to that race, and as we've spoken about, it was just a bit of a shit show. And he's probably looking for further anyway. That Coonji, and then the other day he's off another train wreck the other day. So he's got no weight. He's got get clear running. To find him clear. He should have a picket fence coming into this race for mine. And he's the market's priced him off what he's done, but he can do more. He's the improver. So I think he's a great. I mean, favourite out bet or each way bet. I think he'll run really well.
I tend to agree. Nico?
Yep, second pick for me as well. I think he's in this race with an outstanding chance. All the reasons DK mentioned, the market seems to love this horse. They got him going to a massive level, like something $1.50 in that Coonji. I know they're all over Pondus last start, but I think that sort of shows how much they're going to be in love with the Bart Cummings. So I reckon Grand Promenade might have some support out of that race. Yeah, I'm with you. He's the second pick. Just look at his work through the line. Like last start, he improved his overall speed from the being completely held up at the 300 metre mark to the 200 metre mark, improving, I think, 2 lengths, that last 200 on the punting form data, which you can go through and sort of interrogate their closing sectionals and all that. It was an enormous run through the line. He's absolutely putting a gap on him. He did the same thing at Sandown through the line. Too good, my old man. He had a fair bit to do with this horse very early days, and he was sort of there telling me this is a really good horse, and I didn't listen to him. And
Big Dave.
I think he might be on hundreds, I reckon, for the Cup. So too strong there, but I definitely should have listened to him. Maybe we could have got a lot longer price, but yeah, he was sort of saying if they ran him in the Lexus, that would have suited him perfectly. Like he reckons he'll just cop any work. This horse, he's had a lot to do with him. He just thinks tough horse. That the more work you put into him, the better.
Yeah.
Old school sort of stayer. So there's a bit of inside info.
And don't worry about. I said to someone the other day. I said, don't worry about Tio. Like just even in the bush. I said, even though he's had those couple of shit shows on floating artists, he's riding winners in the bush. He's riding really well. So
he's got a lot to prove too.
And he's this race is up for grabs for one of these. You know, I'm going to take Incentivise out, but one of these lesser light jocks to get a great performance out of this race, and he's right up there with him.
And this is a very good map for him. Like he's probably not going to find the fence from 10.
See, Tio's put a tweet out. You 10, the gate 10, you beauty. You know?
He's
something like that. He was wrapped with gate 10.
Like he can sit one out, one back. He can follow Incentivise if he wants to come across and sort of sit forward.
Yeah.
He's second pick for me, and he's a winner.
It'd be an amazing story for a young rider. All the big stars out. 2 hard luck stories. It'd bring the house down if Floating Artist could provide an upset. It's got 7 kilos against the hot shot there, Incentivise. So $16 is and I was hunting around for favourite out markets by the sound of it. DK and Nico all about this horse. All right, number 23 is Great House. Michael D. C. Waller, $20. We saw him yesterday win the Hotham.
What do you make of that, Nico? Because you like Mancaine. I just thought the race panned out. It was J-Mac. Probably J-Mac just got it home.
Yep. J-Mac versus Linda.
Linda rode that horse well.
Yep.
It rode it to its strengths.
He hit the front a long way out, Mancaine, and I think he probably would have been better off if she really just let him roll. Like he doesn't have. It seemed like he didn't have the turn of foot he showed over shorter trips over 2,500. But there's no knock on this horse. Great House. Like he's a good run in the Metro. He ran well in the Caulfield Cup. I reckon he can improve from the yard. I sort of half took him on there yesterday, so I reckon he can definitely improve. So I reckon that run will really suit him. That quick backup. He's a horse who just does a bit too much in the yard. So I reckon having that good hit out, that'll really suit him. This horse. He gets a good run here from barrier number 7. I probably couldn't back him, but I can see him running top 10.
I mean, just a negative is J-Mac off. You'd love to have J-Mac sticking with him, wouldn't he? But he's riding the great mare. But he did say the ride he gave that horse, he said, I thought I was going to win easy, and that horse there's a tough horse back on the inside of me.
He half turns it up, this horse too.
Okay,
he's had a fair few runs in Sydney where he was 200 out, you was thinking $1.01, and he lays in, lays out. Like he has some quirks, but I think a fast run cup and on the quick backup may suit him.
Number 24 is an interesting runner, Sir Lucan. G Boss, Gay Waterhouse, $26 chance. Got beaten about 14 lengths last time in the Group 1 St Leger. I looked at the replay, but it's just so inconclusive. The footage is just terrible. You learn nothing from the race. He's well back, and the camera's just focused on the winner. I think that horse was Hurricane Lane, and you can get form lines around horses that sort of have run third in the arc. So if this horse brings his best form to the table, he's the only sort of 3-year-old or Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old.
That's what piqued my interest, that he was the Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old.
Gets 50 kilos.
We know how well they go, how well they run in the Cup and how well it's set up for them. So that's why it piqued my interest. I didn't know a lot about him, but...
Rekindling Tiger Moth Cross Counter. This is the lightly raced stayer that the Europeans start to target.
Hill Paradiso, another one.
Yeah, I like him. I reckon he's got a big chance in this Cup. He's a profile horse, gets him with 50 kilos. If Incentivise, he's got to carry 57 here. His dangers are these horses who get 7 kilos off him. This looks like he looks so suited to Australian racing. He's got a big turn of foot, this horse. He just has to be exposed way too far out in those small races overseas. He just was left sprinting way too long. I think Bossy's going to really look to get a card into the race and expose him late here, because he looks like he has an enormous turn of foot. His run in the St Leger was disappointing. His runs prior were very good. I don't think he knows exactly what the game's about yet. He strikes him as a horse who's going to come here. I reckon he's going to stay here by the looks of it, given he's trained by a Waterhouse spot. I think this could be a horse come the autumn who could have a big impact, and I think he can have a big impact on this race. He's got the right man on board. He's got the profile, this 3-year-old overseas sort of profile that we've seen. I think the market comes for him, to be honest, off that. They like finding that. I know he's got to probably improve his time form ratings and all those kind of things, but I like everything I've seen from this horse. I'm forgiving that last start, and I think just exposing him late, last crack at him, show the big turn of foot, I reckon he's really going to suit the way we race here in Australia, and I'm having something on him. I think he's a big price, $26. I marked him 13s.
$6.50 the place is big odds, and definitely one that you can't leave out of your exotics. All right, that's all the runner by runner preview. So let's just whip around here on top, DK, and then next best, and then maybe Ruffy. We already probably know it.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, so I mean, Incentivise, he might be the horse of a generation or something like that, but he's going to be hard to toss. But I reckon Floating Artist is the smoky for me. So I'll be having something on him.
And the blowout.
I'd maybe one. I'm siding. I mean, I don't think Amira won a great race, but just worried about the 57 with her, and the Bart Cummings form. I thought Tralee Rose and Grand Promenade. For exotics.
Nico?
Yeah, Incentivise definitely on top. I think Floating Artists Lucan are going to be good results for me in the race, and probably Verry Elleegant the other. Probably Explosive Jack, maybe the value sort of runner. On the racing show for the big Group 1s, we usually do like a $500 strategy. If you gave me $500, I'm playing a trifecta. Definitely taking 83% of this. Incentivise to win with Verry Elleegant. What was the other horse in there? I've completely mad this up. Verry Elleegant, Lucan, Floating Artist. Then I'll take 2, 3, 4, 5, 16, 22, and 24 for second and third. Taking on Grand Promenade and Tralee Rose there in the trifecta.
I can't see the favourite getting beaten here, Incentivise. I like the angles from Floating Artist. I think down with 50 kilos, he won't know himself, that horse. And I think I'd be surprised if Verry Elleegant doesn't run a really big race. But Persan's probably the horse is the big surprise packet for me. I just like him a little bit fresher. He's the knockout one at odds that the market might just forget about at 30 or 40 to 1. And if there's a chink in the favourites' armour, a horse like Persan might surprise, and they might just have him peaking on the right day there. But he's going to be something beaten, that's for sure. All right, let's have a look at Mug's tips. He's sent us through a Melbourne Cup special.
Hi guys, this is a Mug punter here. After a big derby day on the punt, the Mug had a win today, so his selections went very good. Sorry about the moral being scratched, but the Mug's Melbourne Cup selection is he's going to go number 2, Incentivise on top, because it's just a dominant stay. It looks like it can stay all day. It can stay all week, Incentivise. So number 2, and his trifectas and first 4 are going to be, he's going to have in his second, number 5, Explosive Jack. He reckons it's looking good stayer, looks ready for this race. Explosive Jack. Then he's going to put Delphi in for third, and maybe Tralee Rose for fourth. So the Mug's main bet in the race is going to be Incentivise. So, guys, good luck, good betting. Thank you for welcoming me to the family. And what does the mug say when you say, winner? Go find your bookie.
Tell you what, Mug Punter kicked home on Thunderstruck, so I think he would have had a big result in the Golden Eagle. But how's Mug Punter? He's starting to become hot property. A big bookie tried to approach him and steal him off our show. And to Mug's credit, he's knocked back the big cash. We've offered a counter deal. And he's staying in the team. He's staying in the family. So Mug Punter, welcome.
Welcome to the family.
He's in the brotherhood, so he's not going anywhere. So hands off. He's not for sale, our Mug Punter, but no surprise. He's such a talent that the Sharks have started to circle.
Stay all week Incentivise. It might be like a few of the punters having to stay all week going to 4 days of Flemington. I'll be hoping to do the same, but yeah, I reckon you'll struggle to find anyone who doesn't have Incentivise on top. Like, he just could be a superstar, this horse. We could be in for something very special there on Tuesday, like we saw in the Caulfield Cup.
All right, it's now time for TopSport Steamers. They found Hitotsu 2K at $8. Wow, just got crunched. Starting price was about $4. And the big Melbourne Cup money here, no surprise, 30,000. Best of the best. Incentivise is the first bet here. Be interesting to see how the fluctuations work. I think the best of the best is either tote or TopSport prices. So it's how much they drift at TopSport.
Betting to win 100k best of the best as well.
Betting to win 100k. So that's as big as anyone out there. It'd be fascinating. I think he'll probably. I'd be surprised if he starts 250 is probably about the mark for me. 260. DK thoughts? What price he starts?
Yeah, 6 to 4. I think 6 to 4.
Same.
Yep.
Nico?
6 to 4 means nothing to me, so I'm going to say
2.5.
270.
270.
3 to 2.
Bit
6
better.
to 4.
Yeah, I can't see this horse getting to $3, especially now that punters are cashed up from Derby Day. I think they'll just start to just truckload it in.
He doesn't know the Sopranos, doesn't know the wrestling.
I'm new
6 to
age.
4.
Just
You're new age.
give me the new odds.
The next bet here is Twilight Payment, 20,000 at $11. So that's
Well, there you go. I knew
there's a bet there.
Yeah, they laid it to win 200k, so I saw him turn it off. So there we go.
And this could be yours, DK. Floating artist, 5,000 at $20.
Yeah, I might go shopping around today, mate. It's still $20, but might be interesting to see what the other joints bet me. They'll bet me very, very tight MBLs and everything else. It'll be interesting what they bet me on the Cup. Be interesting. Or I might just get into TopSport and bet with them. So they might be unders after that bet, though.
And make sure you check out some of DK's action. So he just slipped in a couple of sneaky ones out. It was Flemington Race 4, number 9, Groovy Kinda Love. Gets a big weight drop around $6. And then Owenology, Race 9, number 9. D-Endel at $12. So if DK's tipping these progressive horses, expect the market just to absolutely crumble.
It's progressive, that horse.
And Station 1 was the other spec job from the Len Howley Yard, Race 9, number 13 at $17. So on the quick backup.
I found my new horse trainer.
Hey?
I found my new horse trainer, Al Howley.
A bit shifty.
When I get back into
now
it.
he's out on his own.
Love it, mate.
He's trained a Melbourne Cup winner, hasn't he, Liam Harley?
Yeah, he's learned. Yeah, I don't know, he was with Lloyd, obviously with Lloyd, but mate, that horse was legless in its jump outs. Like beating 10 lengths, you couldn't get any guide of it. Goes to the races and it's a steamer. Like, how good? How good?
Oh, we're up and about. I tell you what.
And it saved me an absolute big walk around the block for 2 hours because Top Honours, who ran second to it, we were on, and all the DK were on at Bendigo, but behind Oneology on it each way when it ran fourth. So I said, I'm dropping off you. I'm not sticking with you. Please, Kenny Keys, put it in the paddock. And then it's there running up second. I'm going, I hope that leader kicks as if Top Honours wins at $9 after I've been on it its last 3 starts. I will go off my head. And luckily, it just took off the Billy Egan, Liam Howley also. That was all right.
It's going to be a fascinating day on Cup Day. Not as quiet as many out wide meetings as we like, but hopefully DK can find some road stuff.
Bairnsdale and Chuka. There's a couple that have presented there, but the odds aren't up yet, so we'll just see what price they are.
Fletcher
they want to run better than the thing yesterday.
Exactly. Fletcher will be betting on Hong Kong, so if you want to bet Sunday afternoon, tune into that and slide into our DMs if you're having trouble getting into Telegram there. Nico's back. He's on course Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Bet Dr. Crew will do a live Oaks/Stakes day monster show. We'll try and get in some special guests on Thursday. We'll roll it live. We don't really edit much. It's just to give our AV guy a little bit of a breather. But we might do a big show on Thursday morning.
Oh, okay.
Live show Thursday morning, so you can get into the YouTube chat and put shit on us or ask us a question about a horse that we're bagging or tipping or something like that. So we may as well go live for a bit of fun. bit of a treat.
Yeah, it's going to be a great week.
It's a
Big
cracker.
week coming up, but historically, Cup Day, Oaks Day, probably two of my better days. So I'm really looking forward to the undercards on both those programs.
It's more, and there's more our wheelhouse, the more restricted sort of racing. The big group we saw, fine margins, they're all grand finals or there's other races, but those restricted races can offer some fettle. The Greys race, always Dol likes picking the Greys on the way through, and there's that country final on Oaks Day too. They've all been competing in the bush in the series, so all that.
Yeah, the Oaks, I took $26, I think, Willowy.
Well,
They come out and bolted in yesterday in the Wakeful. So Floating Artist runs a place
it'll
in
be
the Cup.
winning, won't it? What price is it now?
And
Evens?
she wins the Oaks.
Yeah, it'd be hard to beat.
Is it?
Big result.
Oh, Daisy. Well, it gave Winburn to Daisies
She
yesterday.
was $4 when I looked yesterday.
Was she?
Maybe she's come in from that, but
Gee,
happy sitting on 26.
I can beat her.
Sure.
I tell you what, there's a big rain band coming Wednesday. It's 15 to
maybe
25 mil on Wednesday, and then it's 2 to 10 mil on Thursday. So things could change drastically after the Melbourne Cup, and sadly not in time for Verry Elleegant. But it's been a monster show. We'll be back Thursday morning. Follow our socials and our emails for an announcement. We'll figure out what time the races kick off on Thursday, and we'll do a live show, and we'll be betting our brains out, and hopefully you guys are doing it responsibly. We can get a winner, and I don't know what I'm cheering more, Floating Artist or just stick it to the bookies on Incentivise.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The Quinella.
Floating Artist.
Floating artist.
Cheer Floating Artist.
I'm off to Dan Murphy's to buy
Go and find that rhubarb gin.
rhubarb gin.
High Totsu. What a nice little.
Nice little Quinella, $15 Quinella.
Was it really? There you go. We had it there. Yeah, all those.
There it is.
All tipping the one batters and the SF and the coiled spring horse.
Exactly. All right. Happy Melbourne Cup Day. Been a great show. Make sure you support Punting Form and bet with TopSport. Bet to win 100K in the Cup. Don't bet much bigger than those guys. They'll be licking their wounds after yesterday. It was a wipeout for bookies, so make sure you bury your bookie this week on the punt. We'll see you Thursday.